Hello and welcome to Americans Talk Australian Survivor. I'm Rachel.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Matt.
Thanks for joining us. We just watched episode 17 of Australian Survivor, Brains vs. Brawn 2, or should we say Bounty vs. Barren, and there will be spoilers ahead.
Yeah.
We open up on the Barren beach, where we see that the new tribe of Barrens have no shelter. It's storming. They have no flint, fire. It looks miserable.
Oh, and it's nighttime. Oh, I'm cold just thinking about it. It was horrible. That rain just pouring down on them.
And their clothes, they just seemed like they were so wet that they would be wet for hours, days, a couple of days until they dried out.
Yeah, when your shoes get wet, your socks, you're like, ugh. So that looks pretty miserable. It doesn't seem to make sense why they put this twist in it. It doesn't seem very fair.
Yeah, and Paulie is certainly unhappy about this.
Mm-hmm.
He is complaining about that he got voted for to go on this tribe. We see his greatest hits of worst times for Paulie throughout the show.
Oh, that was funny. I'm sorry, Polly, but it was funny, especially when Laura's torch hit you. It looks like it really hurt you, though. Sorry.
Well, he still has the bandage on.
Yes,
but
yeah.
He did declare, I won't forget.
Right.
Yeah. We saw JLP read out a lot of votes for Paulie in a lot of different outfits.
Yes.
We also saw that Logan was quite upset. She was upset that people voted for her, and this seems to be the scenario every time we come back from a tribal council. Logan's always upset, so kind of par for the course on that one.
Yeah, but she's still there. She can be mad, but each time someone gets voted out, it's not her, so she should actually be pretty happy.
And then we bounce over to the Bounty tribe. And it looks
completely different.
Yeah.
It does, yes.
They put a different
looks like
filter.
the sun is out.
Yeah.
They're eating breakfast. They have their shelter. Everyone's relaxed. It looks like a great time.
Right. AJ's talking about how he really loves eggs, and they brings back memories for him. And they're sitting shoulder to shoulder right there on the beach, eating their omelets.
Looking out at the ocean. Karen, though, does still have some complaints about the tribe. She has been targeting Kate, Morgan, and AJ, and is realizing that since they are all on the same bounty tribe, if they were to win the immunity challenge, she cannot vote for any of those three, which makes me wonder, is she about to throw the immunity challenge?
I was thinking the same thing when I saw it. That was just a feeling, but I'm so glad that didn't happen. Because it's always disappointing when that happens.
And it didn't take long for her to reverse her course, coming up soon. Right. But we see that AJ is still looking to get out Logan. So even though Logan's here, she is still receiving votes, even from the other tribe.
Right, yes.
We go back to the Barren tribe where Miles is feeling pretty good. He thinks that he has friends on both sides, enemies on both sides to vote out. So even though they don't have food or shelter and everyone else is having a horrible time, Miles feels good.
He does not feel vulnerable, and that's always a scary situation when a player doesn't feel vulnerable in Survivor.
Could be foreshadowing.
You're right. You're afraid something's going to happen.
Well, I think it was interesting because Paulie has a little soundbite, and he said that he felt that Miles threw him underneath the bus with that vote, sending him to the Barrenite tribe, and he's very, very upset. Don't you agree?
Yeah,
I mean, he looks so
this
sad.
Paulie is really taking this personally, being voted to go on the Barren tribe.
Right. He's upset.
He is low. I mean, he is so sad, it looked like. But not on the bounty side. Totally opposite.
There is some tribal tension, though. We see that Kate and Morgan are talking in the woods, and they're saying, it's so awkward with Karin and Zara there. I don't know why they don't want to work with us. And then Karin and Zara are sitting at the fire saying, I don't know why those girls don't want to work with us. This would be such a great opportunity. So everyone's thinking the same thing. And finally, Kate pitches that they all work together to vote out Miles, the common enemy.
And Karin is ecstatic, right? She was extremely happy. Yes.
Right.
She is very excited to get out Miles and to work with Kate and Morgan.
But do you tell AJ?
Comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you tell AJ? Miles number one. So Kate and Morgan are trying to form this relationship with AJ. They've sort of been working with him. So I think from their standpoint, they would look pretty bad to keep it from him. But it is his number one, so I think this is a risky move that they do next. When they go up to AJ, they pitch it, and he says he's not against it.
Right. So I think it's too soon to ask. And why would AJ be upset later on if he found out? I mean, people make plans and don't tell everybody immediately.
Well, Karin was very, very upset at AJ when he didn't tell her about his idol, right?
Right.
People just get mad. Especially when you have nothing to do but sit on that beach, you get mad.
And figure out who's going to go home.
Right.
It just seems too early for me to be worrying about this. They haven't even had the challenge.
Well, AJ says that he is interested in having some separation from Miles. I have to agree, he does have a lot of overlap with Miles in the game. So they've made a lot of moves together. They've played similarly chaotic and kind of villainous games. And so he probably shouldn't want to sit next to Miles at the final tribal.
You're probably right. But I don't want to see them separate because they're a good team.
I think if it comes down to those two, that they will figure out one of them will figure out how to get the other one off.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, it would be a good showdown.
Right. I think they're competitive enough knowing that they shouldn't both be in the final.
Yeah.
Well, the other factor at this point in the game is that Miles has an idol and AJ knows it. So AJ is now in this very interesting position where is he going to try to sneak the idol away from Miles? Is he going to, say, why don't you let me hold on to that tonight? Get greedy? Or is he going to send him home with an idol in his pocket?
Oh, very interesting. Didn't think about that.
Right. I can't see Miles giving up his idol, but I could see him going home with it in his pocket.
Oh, yeah, I could see Miles doing that.
They won't vote for me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what everyone thinks.
Well, back at the Barren tribe, poor Polly said he doesn't trust anyone. He's so grim. He thinks he'll be the next one voted out if they lose. But one person, Caitlin, is very happy. Did you notice that? He's talking to Kristen.
Yeah, he never seems to be having a bad day.
No, he doesn't.
He even said he thinks it's good for his game to be having these new connections and be put on a new tribe.
Right.
So he's having fun. Good for him.
Right.
Well, I thought it was weird. He's talking to Kristen. We can make it to the final two. Then they even practice what they would say.
Yeah, I know. For each other.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, I didn't see the two of them together. I don't know why.
Well, then something really interesting happens over on the Barren tribe. We see Kaylin, Kristen, Logan, and Polly having a chat, and they are also pitching Miles.
Yes.
So everyone on both beaches is pitching Miles.
Right.
And Miles keeps walking up and walking right by.
How he didn't hear that. I mean, they're talking right about him, and then he comes up and then, go hang the water bottles over there, and he does,
Well,
so at this point, I'm thinking there's no way that AJ is going to be able to sneak an idol past Miles, because if every person on the beach is talking about voting out Miles, he's going to get wind of it. He's going to play his idol, and he's not going to give it up. So There goes that plan.
And then it's off to the immunity challenge, and we see the poles up there with the notches on their feet, and we think, oh boy, that looks painful.
Yeah.
So they're split up into Bounty versus Barren, and the Bounty, given their advantage, they get to start at the very top of the pole, at the highest rungs for their feet, where the Barren have to stand in the middle of the pole, where they've already lost some of that width for their feet to rest on.
What a huge advantage, don't you think?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, especially because at the top of the pole, you can kind of stand up and wrap your arms over top. It looked way more comfortable to be at the top of the pole than have your face kind of smashing into the middle of the pole.
I have to say, it does look a little bit frightening to be up that high, just like with your body draped over a big pole, and your feet are the only thing that's holding you up, kind of. You know what I mean?
Morgan decided to start in the middle, not the top, because she was afraid of heights.
Right.
That's right.
I mean, it's a long way down if your feet slip. If your feet get sweaty and it slips, and that would hurt. That would hurt going down there.
Well, about 10 minutes into it, Logan and Kaylin both are out.
For the Barren tribe.
Yeah.
So this is kind of one of those interesting challenges that it's, it's only one person has to win for the whole tribe. So I think it's one of those challenges where if you think you're not going to be the last one there, you may as well just drop out now, because it's not worth.
What you're saying.
If you're not going to outlast your other tribe mates, it has no benefit for you to be there.
But Paulie is determined to stick with it, even though he's malnourished, and he is. But he kept on fighting.
He did.
He needs this.
Right.
So Morgan and Karen went out next. Then 20 minutes, AJ went out, and then Kristen. And then there were two each, Polly and Miles, and Kate and Zara. And I have to say, Miles looked pretty good there also. Didn't you think?
He does. Yeah. He does better in these challenges than you think.
Right.
The physical challenges.
Yeah, he always seems to be like just towards the front of the pack. He's never about to win, but he's always very close to being in the final two or so.
Right. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Doesn't drop out right at the beginning.
No, he does.
So he gives it a good effort. Mm-hmm. So then finally it comes down to Polly as the main person for the Barren versus Kate and Zara for the bounty. So it really comes right down to Polly, and he is struggling. Keeps readjusting. He's like, oh, is he going to slip? Is he going to be able to do it? And he stays on there for a really long time. It looked like Kate wanted to drop out.
52 minutes.
Right. 52 minutes. And Jonathan pointed out an interesting thing. He said that Polly's feet are larger than Kate or Zara's. So that was something else that he was able to accomplish.
Right. It's interesting that it's more difficult for a bigger foot to be on that tiny ledge.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't account for that. Like, you know, sometimes they make specific
like the
challenges
percentage of your weight or whatever.
Yeah. Right. I wonder why they didn't do that.
Or your height.
So right off the bat.
Well, it's too bad for Polly because he really wants it, we can tell. And he keeps adjusting and adjusting. And it didn't look like he was giving up. He was just adjusting, and he slipped, and he was on the sand and out of the challenge, making him vulnerable at tonight's tribal council.
That's true.
But Kate and Zara won immunity for the entire bounty tribe. So not a huge surprise, knowing that they had shelter, they had breakfast, they had an advantage. Right. We all kind of expected bounty to win.
Yeah, and earlier the Barren tribe said they didn't get any sleep either. So, I mean, it's incredible what they were able to accomplish. Even just getting there seemed amazing.
Let alone standing on that little ledge for 52 minutes. So then congratulations to Polly for the great play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then it's time for everyone to reunite for a scramble. Yes. So everyone is back on the beach, and AJ is kind of reiterating that he wants separation from Miles. And Karn is not so sure that he actually means it. She wants to split the votes on Polly.
They all agree that Miles needs to go. Yes. It's interesting. They're still in agreement.
Yeah, but then AJ has some interesting thoughts on the whole Miles situation. He says that Miles is kind of a shield. It's like lowering, it's good to have a shield for him on the opposite side of the tribe, but he wants to lower their relationship and kind of split them up. He wants AJ and Miles to be on opposite sides of the tribe to lower their duo threat, which I thought was very interesting. So he's not ready to give up Miles as a player in the game, but he is willing to create some space between them for the benefit of both of them. So he's thinking pretty hard about the game.
Right. Yes. I didn't think that was going to work, because when it comes down to voting, they're going to see how you vote, and if the two of you vote the same way. But if they have a way that they can work it out, that they can both vote differently and still come up with the same goal, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was interesting when AJ went up to Miles and told Miles about they were all going to vote for him. So obviously he does want to work with Miles.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense. Like we were saying, it's pretty early in the game, for AJ to be going after Miles. So I can understand why he wants to continue working with him. I thought it was a little bit soon for him to be cutting ties with Miles anyway. So it seems like AJ is really going after this plan of let's work together, but just not quite as publicly.
Right.
So then Miles has this great idea. He says that he has an idol, and instead of just playing it, he's using this opportunity with this knowledge to make a big move. So what he does is he goes to Logan and Polly separately, and he says, I have an idol. I will be here tomorrow. You're the split vote, so either you go home or you vote with me.
I couldn't believe that he shared that knowledge, that he wasn't just going to just bring it up at the tribal council, that he would tell Logan beforehand. I'm like, oh, that seems like a big mistake to me. What do you think, Rachel?
You think so? I don't know. I think it could have worked out well because we can believe him, right? We know that there's going to be a split on Polly, and if just Miles has his one vote for whoever he wants out and everyone else splits Miles-Polly, Polly still goes home. So he wants the power of saying, let's all unite together and get one specific person out instead of just losing one of these random numbers.
Right.
So I think it was a smart move on Miles to kind of get the band together a little bit, so to speak.
I think it's an excellent idea. He's not giving up. I mean, he constantly has a plan. Just like AJ, those two are excellent players.
They're thinking ahead, like a game of chess, right?
Right, exactly.
But then Logan goes and tells everyone.
Oh, my gosh. I couldn't believe it. Come on, Logan. He's trying to help you.
Yeah, right? So Miles's plan is he wants to get out Kristen. He's saying Kristen's friends with everyone on the beach. She's very unassuming. Everyone's kind of friends with her, but he has no benefit to Miles himself. And I think that makes total sense.
Yes.
She's just kind of been a number this whole time. And she brings nothing to Miles' table. So it makes sense that he's targeting her. I think Logan wants to work with Kristen. Logan just doesn't like Miles or AJ. I think she's been, kind of stabbed in the back by them a little bit several times. So I think she was just not interested in working with Miles and said, I'd rather turn on your plan, even at the risk of getting some votes tonight.
Right. She's just in a predicament, though, right?
I guess she just didn't trust him, but I could not believe it. I was screaming at the TV and I saw her do that. I'm like, no, he's trying to help you for real.
But what does Logan have to lose by going with them, right? I mean, there's no votes on her.
Oh, with Miles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just she's mad at him.
Right.
That's all I can think of.
I think she feels that there's still something salvageable between her and the rest of the women on the tribe, where she knows that Miles doesn't want to work with her. But I think this is the way forward. If someone's offering you a plan, Miles and Polly, as soon as Miles and Polly go out, Logan's going to be right back on the chopping block. I think she should have kind of taken this chance. But Logan tells Kristen the plan. And then Kristen kind of has this crazy reaction where she runs up to Polly and says, what have you heard tonight? And gets upset when he doesn't tell her the votes are on her.
I was like, come on. You didn't tell Polly anything. Why should he have to tell you something?
And she was genuinely upset.
Yes.
She made a comment that was like, this is Polly's chance to earn back my trust.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you're gone tomorrow, what does it matter to Polly if he has your trust or not?
Right.
Like he has no advantage to helping Kristen out at this point in the game if he's planning to turn on her.
Well, especially because she has been voting for him over and over again. She has never showed Polly that she wants him in the game. Right?
Yeah.
She keeps voting with them to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. And I remember in past episodes, she's laughing about Polly. So I don't understand that.
Well, Polly is also having a bit of an emotional time this episode. He is saying that he is absolutely sick of seeing his name and that if they want to split, they can split on someone else. And he is going up to individuals and saying, do not put my name down. You can change it. They're all saying, well, someone's going to vote for you. And
I earned this.
Don't let it happen.
I see his point, right? Because he knows that Miles has an idol and he knows there's going to be a split vote and he knows he's the split. So if he can get everyone to vote on somebody else for the split, right? Miles and who cares who else, then he knows he'll be safe. That's my thinking, right?
Yeah, he just panicked. I think he panicked.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be the one because Miles claims he has an idol.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that he doesn't want to hear his name come out. He knows there's an idol, but his way about it was interesting.
Yeah,
well, he's a little aggressive.
It was, yes.
I think he was just tired.
Yeah, you look at someone like Miles, and Miles is pitching other plans. Polly is just saying, don't let it be me.
Right.
But he needs to be saying, instead of writing my name down, let's split it on Logan, or let's split it on Kristen, or whoever he wants. He needs to be pitching a new plan.
There needs to be a reason, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I think that was a little bit of his downfall at this point in the game.
So then we go to Tribal, and there's a lot of talk. I felt like it was kind of a long Tribal.
Yeah, nothing huge really came out at Tribal, at least for me.
No,
we saw.
Same with me.
I guess one interesting point was that we saw Karen whispering to AJ, kind of confirming his vote, and he says he is voting for Miles.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he did.
Right. Well, when I saw that, I thought it was just a lie, but he really did do it. Yeah.
Well, he had to, and then that way, Kate knows that he voted with them, right?
Yep.
Tomorrow he can say, I was with you guys. I'm just as shocked as you are that Miles is still here.
Right. I had no idea.
I was so upset that Polly went home because I don't understand why Polly and Logan voted for each other. Why didn't they just vote for Kristen?
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, we saw Miles play his idol for himself, which I was very happy to see because I was worried that he was going to get a little too confident and he was going to say, oh, I have these big plans. I don't even need my idol. But thankfully he played it and it was well worth it. I mean, it's just every episode Jonathan is up there saying, does not count, does not count.
Right.
So he needs like a button to press to just say it for him.
He's like the idol king, right? King of the rats and king of the idols.
Right.
Yeah, so Miles does an excellent job with another amazing idol play. And we see all these votes go out for Miles. We see one for Logan, just one for Kristen, and then it looks like 3 for Polly, sending Polly home to be the second member of the jury.
So it really was too bad. If they would have stuck to the Kristen plan, Polly would still be there?
So he had 3 votes, and Kristen had 1, and Logan had 1. Is that right?
So if they
if Polly would have if Polly would have taken his 1 vote on Logan to Kristen, that would have been 2 on Kristen. If Logan had taken her 1 on Polly and put it on Kristen, then it would have been 3 on Kristen, 2 on Polly, sending Kristen home and saving Polly.
Yeah, so
that really would have been a good move, I think.
I don't understand it. Why didn't they trust Miles? And Polly, why didn't Polly trust Miles?
I think Polly was just nervous that the split, I guess he didn't know where the split was going to go, right? He was running around convincing everyone to not put his name down, so he might be thinking maybe the split's on Logan, like half on Logan, half on Polly. I don't know what exactly he was thinking.
Well, I wish they would have just listened to Miles.
But there was no indication of that with all the talking back at camp that anyone was going to vote for Logan other than Polly.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking for Logan, she voted for Polly and not for Kristen, and she's going to get back to back to camp, and everyone's still going to be focused on Miles, and as soon as Miles is out, she's the next enemy. It's been Polly and Logan as, public enemies 1 and 2 for a long time. And now she's the only one. There's nowhere to hide. So I think she really messed herself up by sending Polly home.
Yes.
And not changing the game.
And let's give Polly a great clap. He did a great job. Look at what he did. What did we say? 53 minutes on that poll. He was. He kept trying to stay in there, and he did. Vote after vote, he was still there. And I give him a lot of credit for how he played. Congratulations.
Right. Now, Miles, in the next episode, will Miles find an idol, do you think?
He better. He knows the game, and he knows that there will be another one out there.
Right,
so, and he knows he needs it.
Will he get up early and beat everybody to it, or
somehow would just find it magically?
Yeah, I hope. That'd be great.
He's pretty good at finding idols.
Miles is your man. I forgot. That's who you...
The first episode.
Your winner pick.
Right.
Yeah, that's who I picked. But will other people only look for an idol because Miles is looking? Will anyone else have the idea of even going out and looking? It seems so often that people just don't even think about it.
Right. And they just see that someone's looking and they go, I don't want them to get it.
Gotta believe Miles is thinking about it.
Oh, I know Miles.
Yeah, I mean, Logan and Polly both should have been looking for idols all day today.
Yeah,
and at the Barren camp, they could have been looking. I'm sure there was one. Well, maybe not, but there's a chance one could have been at the Barren tribe.
Right.
Why not? If you're Polly and you know that everyone's going to vote for you. They've already voted for you, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows how it works.
Well, it was sad to see Polly go. He was a fun player. He really put his heart into the game. But I'm happy that he will have a say on the end of the game at the jury. So we will see what happens. Oh,
yeah. Talking about that, Laura looked great. Didn't she look so pretty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two days in a row.
Right. It's just so nice to see her. Again, I'm glad that she's on the jury also. So, who knows what Polly will be wearing tomorrow night. We'll have to see.
But it'll be exciting on the final episode when Polly gets to say something, right?
Yes.
So he's got a lot of time to think about it.
Sure.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow night to further discuss the rest of the jury and how Polly looks tomorrow. Let us know what you thought about this twist of Barren versus Bounty, if you thought it added to the game or it was just kind of a waste of time. Write into us on Instagram at ATA Survivor, TikTok at ATA Survivor, and send us an email at ataustraliansurvivor@gmail.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.